On everyone, Kyrie Irving and the Brooklyn Nets. It's going to be quite interesting to see how this journey with him and the Nets ends up going. Regardless, I believe this is his last year with the Brooklyn Nets. Writing on the wall is kind of like, hey, you should probably blow it up and just be done. Maybe trade Kyrie Irving, do like a Hornets deal or something like that. Kind of do what the Lakers are looking to do. Take him. He's an expiring contract. There are teams that are willing to take on that to move off a long-term salary. The thing is, too, is if you're the Brooklyn Nets, if Kyrie just walks after this year, you don't have any money or salary space or anything to go and acquire him. Because even if Kyrie leaves, still have Kevin Durant on a max. You still have Ben Simmons on a max. Got Joe Harris, who's taking up the rest of the money. So you're basically stuck, right? If Kyrie leaves, you're blowing it up. I really believe this is the last year for the Brooklyn Nets. I think it would make a lot of sense for Brooklyn to go and try to turn Kyrie into some assets, right? Go get like a Terry Rozier and maybe like a Kelly Oubre or something like that. They would help now. They would help for the future. If you end up trading Kevin Durant, well, then now you got those assets, these assets. At least you got something for Kyrie Irving. And I'm sure that there are teams out there that would, take on Kyrie's contract, buy him out. If he goes to the Lakers, he goes to the Lakers. If he goes wherever, he goes wherever. If you're Brooklyn, you don't care. You're just trying to be done and move on. But Brooklyn, although they did win last night, Kyrie had a great game, a big game. But in general, they just haven't been very good. They lose to the Sixers that don't, basically had their entire team out. Tobias Harris turned into Kevin Durant for the night. And it hasn't been good in Brooklyn. And they're still a bad day away from just being another implosion and another disaster. And Kyrie to the Lakers, I do think is likely to happen sooner rather than later, unless the Lakers just end up doing a trade that, basically rules out any possibility of that. I think as long as the Lakers have the position to go acquire Kyrie Irving, I do think sooner or later Kyrie is going to be a Laker. But we'll see. We'll see how it plans out. The reason I'm bringing this up is because we got this report from Eric Pincus, who said that the 3-team trade that would make the Los Angeles Lakers a contender. And Eric put together this trade package that I kind of wanted to talk about, go over, and of course, hear your thoughts and opinions. Again, this is from Eric. Every time I talk about this stuff, even though I show who it came from, where it came up, somebody's always like, oh, you just... No, I didn't make this up. I just thought it was an interesting deal, and I want to explore it. So let's take a look at it. So the Lakers trade, Russell Westbrook, Patrick Beverley, Kendrick Nunn, and 2 future first-round picks, the 27th, 29th pick, right? The 2 coveted picks that many teams seem to want. But in this package, they're trading Russell Westbrook, Patrick Beverley, and Kendrick Nunn. Brooklyn would end up trading Kyrie Irving to the Lakers, and the Detroit Pistons would end up trading Bojan Bogdanovic, Alec Burks, and Nerlens Noel to the Lakers. So the Lakers would essentially get Kyrie Irving, Bojan Bogdanovic, Alec Burks, and Nerlens Noel in this deal. So obviously, you have the 3 guys going out would be Russell Westbrook, then you'd have Patrick Beverley and Kendrick Nunn. Patrick Beverley and Kendrick Nunn would likely go to the Detroit Pistons, and you could kind of clear that out, or Russell Westbrook ends up going to the Brooklyn Nets, and they have that exchange. The money works, all that stuff. If you look into it, they can even do it the other way, flip-flop it if you need to. But essentially, these 3 guys would be going out to the Detroit Pistons and to the Brooklyn Nets, and then the Lakers would be getting all the pieces that they get. All 3 of these guys are expiring contracts, expiring deals. All of this would just be, cap relief to get assets. The Brooklyn Nets would likely get a first-round pick. The Pistons would likely get a first-round pick. Everybody wins. Everybody's happy. The Brooklyn Nets get something for Kyrie Irving, which is, again, better than nothing, better than just losing him for nothing. Kyrie is very likely going to the Lakers at some point, sooner or later. So if you're Brooklyn, why, wait out the inevitable? Might as well get a first-round pick. I think the Lakers, although there have been reports that the Lakers are not willing to trade for Kyrie Irving, if you could do a deal like this, you do it, right? Getting Kyrie, Bojan Bogdanovic, Alec Burks, and Nerlens Noel, you're pretty much a contender, right? You have enough talent now to win a championship. You basically got your team intact, your team in place. I've even kind of dove into a couple of these 3-team deals, these exploratory trades. with the Pistons, not with the Pistons, sorry, with the Pacers. This is just kind of the same version with the Pistons. Maybe Eric Pincus is looking at my videos, but no. On a serious note, it makes sense that both of those teams would just want to get assets for guys. One team is tanking, the other team they're want to get something for Kyrie Irving. You get these pieces, doesn't mess up your salary space, doesn't mess up anything. Boom, it's a win-win for everybody. Brooklyn, if they wanted to, they could run Kyrie Irving or run Russell Westbrook. If not, they could just buy out Russell Westbrook. However they want to go about it, or if they want to take Beverly Nutt, whatever. You can have the interchangeable pieces work because Detroit is under the threshold, so that really helps as well. But Kyrie Irving to the Lakers, right? Lakers get their coveted prize, the third star in Kyrie Irving. You got Kyrie, LeBron, and Davis. Those three alone are good enough to likely win a championship, right? Kyrie is going to end up being on his best behavior just because, he wants to stay in the league, right? Every time we have seen something threaten or jeopardize his money and his opportunity to play the game of basketball, as much as many believe that he doesn't, that basketball isn't the highest on his priority, he continues to do what he has to come back and play the game of basketball. So clearly he has some value there. He also has LeBron James. That's the only reason I believe the Lakers really want Kyrie Irving. I think if LeBron wasn't on the Lakers, I don't think the Lakers would even be thinking of Kyrie Irving. But I think the idea is, like, Kyrie has this fondness for Kobe Bryant, this love for Kobe Bryant. Lakers, LeBron James, he has this respect and fondness for. LeBron seems to have this respect and fondness for Kyrie Irving, even coming to his defense. I know a lot of people, feel like, oh, LeBron's sellout, threw him under the bus, whatever. Sooner or later, he eventually did come around, stick up for the guy. Whatever the reasons are, still did it. And, they have this just weird relationship. They've always taken jabs at each other throughout, their time, being separated. So it's not a big deal. Kyrie said some bad stuff about LeBron. LeBron said some bad stuff about Kyrie. They're adults. They seem to still love each other. They're kind of like that toxic relationship, but they're just like perfect together. Like they're like that couple that like is destined to be together, but they try to pretend like they're not. They get Kyrie Irving. Lakers are going to be a contender. Kyrie's probably on his best behavior. My concern would be after LeBron leaves. Like when it's like kind of just Kyrie and AD. Will he still be fully bought in? Can he be more of a leader? Can AD be more of a leader? Or is it going to end up being like a KD Kyrie situation where like neither are really leaders, neither are really vocal? Yes, they're both incredibly talented, but they don't really have that voice that is leading the charge. Maybe Darvin Ham could be that guy, but nonetheless, you can get Kyrie Irving, you get Kyrie Irving, right? Chances are you're probably not going to have to give him a max anyway, so you're going to probably get him for some incredible value. Kyrie Irving really changed the landscape for the Lakers, and you'd also have Bojan Bogdanovic, who's locked up for several years, right? You go get those pieces. Alec Burke, you could re-sign, go over the cap for. Nerlens Noel gives you another big and another piece. I know that there's people that are like, Nerlens Noel and Rich Paul and all that stuff, but look, he's still playing the game of basketball. His issue and gripe is with Rich Paul. Maybe him and LeBron have a little bit of issue. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, if they're winning, that's all that really matters. If you need to, maybe you can unload them. Maybe you just let them walk and go. Whatever. It gives you options. The real prize here is Bojan Bogdanovic, Alec Burke. Get another 20-plus point a game guy. You get a 3-and-D style player, which the Lakers really need. This would really solve everything. You solve all of your scoring issues. You get another big man that can come off the bench or start next to AD that gives you, hustle, shot blocking, a little bit of scoring. Nerlens Noel isn't like a star center by any means, but he's serviceable enough to be a quality rotation big for the Lakers. You get a guy in Alec Burke, 3-and-D guy that could really kind of help solve a lot of the Lakers' issues, right? On top of that, you get Kyrie Irving, who definitely could solve a lot of the Lakers' issues, primarily scoring and shooting. And then Bojan Bogdanovic is just shooting the absolute lights out this year. Has absolutely been just incredible, just shooting pretty much anywhere on the court. But he also gives you another consistent veteran guy. And if you do a deal like this, you're going all in anyway, right? Like this is your team for the next 2-3 years, right? At least, bare minimum. And I do think a core of LeBron, Davis, Kyrie, Bojan Bogdanovic, and Alec Burke are more than enough to win a championship. Basically, got those 5 guys. You're in a good spot. You could re-sign, maybe like a Thomas Bryant, Winning Gabriel, whatever little, mid-tier guys, veteran minimum guys, stuff like that. You're fine. You got enough of a core that is good enough to win a championship for the next several years, right? You're one of, if not the best teams in the league with this roster, assuming everyone is healthy, everyone's good to go. Especially right now, the way that Anthony Davis is playing like an absolute beast and a monster. If he continues to play that way, get Kyrie and his scoring punch, LeBron James being LeBron James, like you're probably winning a championship, if not several. Like that might be the best opportunity for the Lakers to help LeBron kind of catch Jordan and Reigns, and then Bojan Bogdanovic as well. Gives you that floor spacer, that three-point shooter, that guy that can just basically shoot from anywhere on the court and at an efficient clip. So basically, every night, you'd have 4 or 5 guys that could give you 20 easily, right? And that's not counting. You'd still have like Walker and Reeves, Troy Brown, Winning Gabriel. You'd still have, Dennis Schroeder. You'd still have a lot of guys and a lot of depth. So now you're at least, 8 to 10 guys deep this season, minimum, right? That are all like legit contributors, like legit rotation guys. You're one of the deeper teams in the league. And so this is like the swing for the fences type deal. If I'm being honest, I kind of like either the Hornets, like Kyrie deal, or like maybe even like the Pacers Kyrie deal. Like if you get Miles Turner, Buddy Hield, and Kyrie Irving, I think that's slightly better. I think Nerlens Noel is kind of just an add-on. Alec Burke is nice, and I do think he can, be a contributor and impact the game in the Lakers a little bit, but I don't think he moves the needle as much as like a Buddy Hield would be. I don't think the Lakers really need a center, if I'm being honest, especially the way Anthony Davis is playing. Like, why would you want to take him away from the basket? So maybe Nerlens Noel is a better option just because, he's a guy that would be willing to come off the bench, where if you go get Miles Turner, you got to start him, right? And Anthony Davis isn't really shooting the ball well, but I don't think this is a bad alternative. Like, if you could end up getting these guys, I don't think it's a bad alternative at all. Like, if these 4 are added to the Lakers roster, I would confidently believe that they could win a championship. Nothing's ever 100%, of course. Again, injuries are a real concern. Will these guys mesh? Chemistry, a lot of things go into it, right? It's not as simple as like plug and play, here you go, win a championship. But I would feel with some relative confidence that the Lakers would be good enough with these 4 guys and the roster they already have to win a championship. I mean, at worst case, you got a 6, 7, 8 guy rotation, which is basically your playoff rotation. Worst case, you got these 4, got LeBron, Davis, there's 6. You got Austin and you got Walker. There's, 7, 8. I think Troy Brown, Dennis Schroeder are 2 more guys. So there's at least bare minimum 10 guys that, have experience, that know the ins and outs, that can be real contributors, that can contribute to winning and really put you in a position to contend for a championship. And look, the Western Conference, in my opinion, is wide open. I don't see any team in the West that are just world beaters. Like, there's no team I look at in the Western Conference and I go, man, that team, the Lakers stand no chance against. Like, especially, like, even the team that they have a right to say, even if the Lakers made no changes at all, the Lakers were able to get into the playoffs, which is key. They have to get to the playoffs, but they were able to get to the playoffs. There's not a single team I look in the Western Conference that I go, man, I just do not see a scenario where the Lakers can beat them. I just think Anthony Davis and LeBron James are a mismatch against every team in the league. Will the role guys show up? Will they be able to play enough defense? Will Anthony Davis and LeBron James be able to control the game enough? I mean, there's, of course, a lot of factors, a lot of questions that go into it. But, as open as the Western Conference is, I really think that there are several teams that could win the Western Conference. And, look, end of the day, you got LeBron James and Anthony Davis. If the Lakers ended up coming out of the Western Conference, I don't think anybody would really be surprised. I mean, you'd have the haters just being the haters, but I think for the most part, most people would look at it as like, hey, they have LeBron James and Anthony Davis. It makes sense. And I truly believe, and I've said this from day one, if the Lakers make it to the Western Conference Finals, I believe that they win the NBA championship. And primarily because I think that LeBron James will look at that and go, okay, I need to win 8 games, and this might be the last chance I ever have to get here. So let's turn back the clock a little bit and go win a championship. Again, assuming everyone's healthy, I just think you'll see a 2018 LeBron James. I think you'll just see a different level of LeBron. I think you'll see Cleveland LeBron. I just think it'll be very interesting. But I mean, regardless, obviously you want to get the Lakers some help. You want to get LeBron James some help. You want to get Davis some help, especially with the way that Davis is playing. You hope Rob Pelinka's kind of looking at this and going like, hey, I need to do something here. Like, Davis is playing good enough. LeBron, he's only getting older. Like, we have a real chance to compete in this wide open West. And hopefully he makes a deal. And if he can pull off a deal like this, I would absolutely love that. That would be amazing. Ideally, I'd prefer the Lakers don't trade for Kyrie. I prefer that they just let him, either get bought out. Because there's still a big part of me that believes Kyrie is going to get bought out at some point. Just because, again, it's a house of cards that's wobbling, right? And it's like, when is that card going to fall? When is that shoe going to drop? That the Nets just implode again and just say, okay, we're done. Time to blow it up. Because I feel like it's going to happen. It just keeps happening, right? So it's like at some point, it's probably going to happen again. And if it happens again, like, is Brooklyn really going to just not like buy it? Is they just going to continue to play this game? So it's a real question. Maybe they do. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I want to hear from you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section below. What do you think of this deal? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Do you think it's a deal that makes us a legit contender? Do you think it's not enough? Do you think that this is the type of deal that could ever happen? However you feel, good, bad, ugly, somewhere in between. I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section below.